Hello everybody, this is Sarah Perry, psychic medium, spiritual artist, tuning in with you just before the Lions Gateway on the 8th of August. Apologies to all you listeners who haven't heard from me for a while. It has been a very changeable time, a very busy time, and I've had to focus on certain things and give my energies to other priorities. It's just been hugely busy. Sending all my love out to you all though, and thank you for all standing by me, supporting me and tuning in today. So I want to look at what is coming up, okay? What big changes and involvements are going to happen over the coming months, over the coming week. Now, this is a changeable time. You're going to find that some things, loyalties are going to be divided, judgments may be passed, you may find yourself completely displaced from feeling like human contact, or that you have completely become invisible to some, or decided to become invisible and alter your perspective for something different. It's like everybody's heads or viewpoint is looking upwards right now. Some people are still looking downwards, but many of us are being pushed or encouraged to look beyond, look further than our instincts even, expanding past that kind of safety barrier and past the next one and the next one and the next one. Now we are about to lift to another level of vibration. I'm getting 6, 7 all at once. Okay, we've had the 5D. I'm just picking up 6 and 7 by October 8D. I have spoken about this before. I'm just been given some years. 1917. Okay, maybe you want to look back, somebody do some research at what on earth was going on in that year. But it seems to be all these years being thrown at me, or like at the moment as I'm speaking, so I can't focus exactly on one, but it's like Spirit is saying, look at all these years, look, there's a tumble, it's like tumbleweed coming. What I'm seeing is the effects of past endeavours finally coming to light. People realising their missions in this world, their soul purposes, and understanding the true meaning of life. Oh, that's very deep. I'm just channeling directly from Spirit this morning. I've just, for anybody who's just tuned in, I haven't been on here for a while, but the way that I work now is literally instinctive. I just get the call and just start. So apologies if some of these messages are a little bit riddly, but that's how it comes through sometimes. I do see that balance is coming to effect. There's joint ventures and legal situations starting to calm down and ease throughout August, but something is going to pick up again in September. Now, when I say pick up again, for those of you who feel like things kind of almost not disappear, but they're kind of in the flow but not really happening, and this isn't like delays, it's not like Mercury retrograde when you're frustrated because it's not happening, it's just gone quiet for a while. And this could be for people dealing with legal issues where everyone's been fighting, and you've been doing mediation, maybe in divorce or liquidation, that kind of thing, and trying to get the best option because everybody's kind of grabbing on to what they need, or they feel they need right now. They don't want to lose out, and they're feeling the changes and effects that are happening in the world right now. But what I mean by kind of slowing down, it's just gone quiet, it's gone a little bit peaceful, it's giving people a little bit of respite. It's like that holiday time. Now I see like a last gulp happening. This is they're saying it's the Lion's Roar with the Lion's Gate, where it's kind of the universal energy saying, right, everybody stop. All these voices have been getting very loud, everybody's arguing, no one's listening anymore, we've lost the point. what we were going for. We've lost the goal. We've lost the reason for everything. We were going for fulfillment. We've somehow gone off track because we've got kind of overexcited, or we've been taken backwards too far and forgotten how to get back through into the present door. So there's this kind of calming down on those situations. For other people, it could be that it just slows, things just kind of come into balance beautifully, and things just fade away that were an issue. They just aren't becoming an issue anymore. Now I say kind of it's coming back in September. For those, it's just calmed down, it's gone quiet. There's like a renegotiation for some people. I'm seeing somebody particularly for some building projects, things that were started, the foundations were completed, the walls were starting to be placed in, and the structures were being put in, but then something was discovered, like a leak or something or legislation coming into play that we couldn't, they couldn't carry on. This could be the lockdown in itself. How many workers are on site, how many, you can effectively, I'm seeing some kind of health and safety thing coming in for a lot of people. Now this is to do with the Saturn effect as well, the square, that we're being pushed to look at details and make sure that the job is done right so that it stays effective for a long time. Now, if you were to rush a job because you're thinking, right, I've got to get the money in the bank for 4 months' time, because I've got to then put, and reinvest in something else, or I'm owing somebody, you might rush something and then not be doing it for the love, and you've forgotten why you were doing it in the first place, and then you lose that quality. And so Saturn comes in and says, no, okay, I'm going to just add a little flood here so that you really look at it, or I'm going to show you what is beneath the surface. I'm going to show you the people that aren't really doing the job properly. I want you to create the best team. So this doesn't necessarily have to be a building project. It could be a building of a brand. It could be you are building your future, you are creating a great career for yourself, or you are building a relationship or a family. You're creating the foundations to have a family, and the next generation that is coming, and the one that is happening now, is a really highly evolved one. And for the people that are the parentage of this generation, they must be prepared. They have to be in the right space. They have to be in the right emotional space, because these children that are being born, and they're already, like I say, particularly around August time. Again, I'm getting 1917 for some reason. Please check that out. I'm going to have a look in a minute. That, they require assistance, like handling, and I don't mean they're really difficult. It's the sensitivity that's coming through, the empowerment, the logic in some ways, the reality in a spiritual, on a high spiritual vibration, which sounds kind of weird, but it is what it is. It's using those words. It's saying kids saying how it is. I know children do anyway, but this is like people just kind of cutting through all of the rubbish. They're clearing through. They're seeing things beyond. They're seeing spirit around them more and more. They're understanding the reality in a situation. They're seeing through people's facades, that kind of thing. And if you're very emotional and this is something that you don't do, and you're hiding or you're avoiding, or you've always been fearful, how can you deal with that? That might feel kind of, you might want to be getting on the defensive there. It might be very difficult. You might become very stressed by it. So everything is in preparation, but I do see a balance happening even in the next few days, but there could be an almighty crash that happens around the 8th to the 10th. I'm getting something in Europe happening, something really massive taking off that is going to kind of hold up some kind of process. I've got to be really careful what I say, but I am seeing something to do with travel, okay? Maybe a big plane or something breaking down or something not happening. It seems like it's something that was going to take off, and they say, oh, and a rocket's taking off, and everyone's waiting for this first rocket to go off. There's some kind of thing that happens that prevents it. But I'm just being told it will eventually save lives. So whatever crash happens, you know, like they say, the crash of the, you know, the property business or whatever, it, you know, in the end, it kind of, there is a bigger reasoning for it. And that's something we're being taught. We have to look at the bigger picture. Right now, it is so important to be aware of the weaknesses. It's all very well learning something and listening and going, all right, I got that this time, feeling really great. And then these little shadows come creeping in of fear, or something gets triggered, and then you go hurtling backwards again. And you go through all of that again, and invest all the energy and all the fear, and you're not really understanding. Once you gain understanding your pattern, and you can talk things through and you can discuss it and go, yeah, I get it now. But if you don't really understand it, you're going to keep doing it. When you really get it, you'll stop. If you can voice what you know is your weakness and what you always do, you know, when people say, oh, I always do that, oh, sorry, oh, yeah, I keep doing it, then stop it. Remember, there's always a choice, there's always free will. You can always decide to stop. You can always say, I'm not coming out today. Actually, no, I prefer to stay here. That isn't working for me. You can always voice that. Okay, so remember, you do have a choice. Even if you were like incarcerated in a small box for 6 months, you can still choose whether to have a positive thought or a negative thought. Because you could choose whether to feel like the victim, or you could choose to think at least I got this far. Do you know what I mean? I learned something out of it. Think about that. The more time you invest in these little tiny negative energies of things around you, gossip and people who just pull, you know, your aura into crazy confusion and tangles, you know, the more you do that, the slower your progress is. I can tell you today, any of you that are listening, that you are going to become this or that, or right from this point in time, you have the opportunity and the possibility to become the best you can be, right? The biggest success, the, you know, highest entrepreneur, the next millionaire, the happiest person in love with eight children, right? But if you just sit there and go, yeah, all right, but, you know, I can't do that because of this, and, oh, I'll just wait till tomorrow, then the next week, the timing could be exactly the same. Until you do something with that information, like go on a dating site to meet the person you're going to have the 8 children with, or maybe play the lottery, or think about what's good for your branding, or, you know, what do you love to do, what's fulfilling. Until you take that kind of step into that area, it will remain the same. We have to choose whether to take that on board and either do something with it or do nothing with it, or ignore it. Okay? Things, they do require a little bit of effort as well from us. The intention alone, or the decision, is often enough. But when you have an intention, you tend to do something very small. It doesn't have to be a major thing. Just take things day to day, rather than have the big goal, but just then say, right, today I'm going to alter this because that's what I needed to change, right? So say, for instance, you're in the worst relationship in the world, and haven't got a penny because everything is invested in this person, or you've, become isolated, right? And I know that happens, right? So, and you're thinking, I really want to go, but, first of all, I have to get a ticket, or, I've got to get a place to live, right? So instead of thinking, oh, I've got to get the money to just get out, and all you're thinking about is the money, and you're thinking, I must have thousands before I start, looking at getting a little part-time job. Now, if you're completely isolated and that isn't happening, then just start, you could quietly work behind the scenes. You could think, okay, is this someone I could stay with for a week? How much stuff do I actually need? How many items do we need in our life? How much do we take in, and hoard just in case? Oh, yeah, great. And the more clothing we buy, the more things we shove in the wardrobe, the more we feel we've got something for a rainy day. But how many of those items do you actually use? Over here in Spain, it gets so hot by the summer. Just before the summer, I think, oh yeah, I'll go to the market, I'll get a couple of little bits, you know. And I end up wearing the same thing generally, day in, day out. It's probably cost me about €10 because it's such thin material and I don't actually want to wear clothes. You know, it's like you just don't want stuff on your skin, you're so hot. So all those other beautiful things are a complete waste of time. There's no point buying makeup and having your hair done every day because, you know, if you're in the water, sea, or, you know, you're sweating or whatever you're doing, it's a complete waste. Think about, I'm not saying that you don't have to make an effort. I'm just saying is, do you really need that? If you were to walk out the door, what do you really need? You. If you're thinking, well, I'm too weak for that. How long have you survived the restriction? How long have you stood up and dealt with a person and lived in that situation? That is strong. That's being powerful. But if you opt for that, then you're not opening up for help. If you make one call of research or to a friend, or if you send an email to ask for information, that is an intention of doing something. That is something you're doing. It's an action. And it could be done really simply. Think about the simplest things because often they are the most powerful things. And that could be the shift that you need. The fact that you're thinking, I could do this, I could do that, I could do that. I'm making all these notes, but you're not actually doing anything. Break it down, break it down. I do see a lot of things falling into place over the next week to 10 days. And this great big haze of fog lifting in the world. All of a sudden. And again, I'm getting October, November time. Things just kind of lifting. Something changing. It's like the shift has happened. We all wake up and go, oh, that's done. It was a little bit like when the lockdown finished in a lot of countries. You know, we had all these tiers, levels going. And then suddenly, oh, it's gone. 1 minute it's there, 1 minute it's not. It's like, hang on, this doesn't make sense. But that's how it happens often. You know, we're really intense, and all these things going on. And then suddenly everyone's just moved on. It's no different than gossip. Because there's only so much energy you can invest in what isn't there. Start looking at what is. Start making moves. This is going to be a really entrepreneurial time coming up. The next 10 months are crucial to make these changes. Stop dithering, stop avoiding and stop holding back through fear. There are goodbyes to be said. There are endings happening. Allow them to end. Just allow. If you've been manifesting for something wonderful, realise that some things have to go. That's what the universe is doing. They're answering your message in many ways. It's just that if we knew what that answer was, we would have done that anyway. You don't have to wait. So allow the answers to come. Allow yourself to receive. So much more creativity and planning coming up with couples at the moment, relationships. People are starting to really understand what that scientific method is. All right? Remember, when you're in a relationship, you're in it together. It's not just one person. It's two people. Stop fighting yourselves, folks. Stop now. Know you have control. When a dip happens, know that it's to do with a little test because there's doubt, because there's still fear. There's these little remnants. Imagine, you're cleaning out a saucepan or a glass. There's these little bits of residue still sometimes stuck. That's why we haven't completely cleaned through. Don't expect a miracle, right? Or actually expect a miracle, but let go of the expectation that everything is just going to happen overnight. Although it does start overnight. It does happen immediately. It's a continuation of the process. It's the practice of the process that is what will implement it forever. So you need to go from conscious to unconscious to the point where you're not even thinking about it. Yes, we have echoes come in. We have triggers every day. But it's how you deal with them. Do you invest in those triggers and go, oh my God, the world's falling apart? Or do you say, okay, I got that. I'm getting fearful. What's that all about? What triggered that? Okay, yeah, do you know what? I'm moving on because I've got other things to do. That's how you take control. Not by controlling other people or things or events. Just let it happen. Trust now. There is so much balance here and security. I'm seeing abundance coming in for many people. It's like somebody up there has just rolled an almighty barrel of cash and rolling it into the world. It's there for the taking. But eventually there won't be money. And it's just, what we hold in our hands is just an object. It's the flow. It's an energy flow. All right? It's you that is creating that flow. It's you that brings it in. So this Lion's Gateway is your chance to step through, okay? What I'm seeing is the world blink for a moment. I'm seeing between 2 and 4 o'clock on the 8th of August, something's changing, something's shifting. I want you to be aware at that time. Look around you, look at the sky, think about what people are saying. I've also got 10 o'clock to midnight as well, a kind of secondary echo coming in. Be aware of what happens. You may look up and there's a particular aeroplane that flies over and it's closer than normal. Or you feel a shudder. Or you think, did the earth move? You know, or something falls out of a cupboard, or just something happens. Be aware around that time. There's a lot of growth coming in. There's a lot of new skills for people, different kind of practicality, in order to provide a service to each other and to ourselves. Think about the love in your heart. Love you. Start practicing that, and then others will catch on. Now, if you'd like a private reading with me, you just need to go to my website, www.saraperrypsychic.com or .co.uk. There are links to my art sites as well. I am doing a lot of artwork at the moment for people, commissions. And I'm building new pages as well. I'm putting together a lot of stuff. So do check out social media as well for some of my written work, little dailies and things, and Instagrams, and do follow. There is a subscription service monthly on at the moment just for August, okay? And you can get a monthly reading at a lower price for 6 months. Now, if you come on to that subscription, generally you can continue it, okay? So there's always those little perks that come in. If you want some more information or you're having issues setting that up, you just click on the buttons. It's in euros, dollars and UK pounds, okay? So there shouldn't be any question about what the costs are. If you want anything, information, or you'd like to ask any questions, do get in touch with me, and you can do that via email, saraperrypsychic@gmail.com, or just put a comment below. Anyway, please share this vlog, like and subscribe, and I will speak to you soon. Take good care. Bye for now.